Hello, everyone, and welcome to Off the Record Comic Stack with Judah
and Kirk.
I know we get Kirk today. It's an extra special treat here for us comic lovers.
And no Gabe, sadly.
And no Gabe. I'm very happy that this is Kirk because he has a little bit different taste than I do. So we have two comics today, which is nice and short and sweet, and some news for you if we have time.
Mm-hmm. We are going to try to keep this to 15 minutes. So
we're going to try to keep this nice and short, but Kirk has a very different taste from me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think our two issues that we both read this week kind of reflect that.
They're both a little bit different.
Oh, yeah. I think they're like on the opposite sides of whatever the spectrum of comics is, I think.
Certainly from where you're used to reading.
Yeah.
So these will be
100%.
Yeah.
But without further ado, I guess, we'll get right on into it. So our first issue of the week, to no one's surprise, comes from DC Comics. It is Zatanna #1.
Next Level.
Yeah, it's part of Next Level. And this is from writer, artist, and colorist Jamal Campbell. The only thing he didn't do on this book was letter it, which is crazy to me.
Nice.
So he does a fantastic job here doing a one-man show. But before we get into my thoughts on it, I want to hear what Kirk thought of this book.
Yeah. It was really interesting. I've not cared too much about the Zatanna stuff going on in any of the other properties that we've covered, which is mostly the little bit that we saw of her in Absolute Wonder Woman. What is it, Volume 2?
Yeah, Volume 2. And also she's in DCKO a good bit. That's probably the most exposure you had to her.
Yeah, so not too used to this character, but from what I have seen, it's not been too much to my interests, but I actually thought that this was really good. Really interesting story. It was self-contained, which I appreciate.
Yes.
And the art was good, as always. Art is always really good. Like, we always praise art in this.
Yes.
The one day, the day will come that we will not be praising the art, and we will, in fact, be damning the art. And that will be a historic moment for this podcast.
It will be.
But today is not that day.
Today is, in fact, not that day.
So comic artwork was good. And I actually would be interested in seeing some more of this character as well.
Yeah.
Certainly through this Next Level run,
Mm-hmm.
when she'll be fairly consistent to what we've just seen.
Yeah.
That'd be really interesting. I have previously, Judah, you mentioned to me before we started reading that you don't know how much I would like the more, mystical, occult side of DC. I actually have appreciated it in the past in the form of John Constantine.
Yeah.
So
Hellblazer, baby.
I'm not, it's not something where, like, this isn't, like, I don't care much for the mystic side of DC. I only care about the superheroes and the space and, all that stuff. I do. I very much do. But I also can appreciate this side of it, and I did in this. Yeah. It was written well. So, Judah, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. My question was more in line with the fact that it's like your exposure to it. John Constantine's great. I think everybody loves John Constantine. I don't think there's a single person that doesn't. If you don't, there might be something wrong with you. Anyway, my thoughts.
Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, tell us in the comments, actually. So, Zatanna, Prime Magus, which we haven't had one of those in eons. That's great. I like it. This issue is really well done, and Jamal Campbell juggles a lot because he's doing basically everything, but it doesn't, like, the art doesn't fall off even though he's writing. The art's still immaculate. His script is pretty good for someone that's juggling all this stuff, and I really like what he's doing and exploring this side of the DC universe. I really liked going to this, like, elf realm. I thought that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the occult side, the DEO occult side, and the agent where he's like, yeah, this is my name. You can't say it.
Yeah, it's a redacted name, a redacted face.
Yeah, I really like that. I thought that's a cool character. I think this is his first appearance.
I was going to ask about that because I really like that character.
Yeah, he's dope.
And I do like me some DEO as well.
Yeah.
So tying those two things together for this
is fantastic.
I'm very interested in seeing where some of this goes. So.
Yeah. And I really that character stood out to me a lot. We're apparently going to be seeing a lot more of him going forward, which I'm excited for. And he could be great. But yeah, no, I thought this is self-contained. It's really well written. Really well drawn, and it's worth $4 if you want to check out Zatanna and see what she's about. This is not it teases what's going to come later, but this isn't like you could read this and then just set it down. You know? But yeah, I think 5 stars for me. I don't know it.
Oh yeah, star rating.
Out of 5, it's not out of 10. This is what bothers me about this.
Star rating.
I prefer out of 10 rating.
Out of 10 definitely gives you more freedom.
Yeah,
because of the decimals.
Yes.
But it was really good. I don't have any issues with it, so I don't necessarily have anything that I can take any stars away. But I also feel like 5 is like really, really high praise that should be reserved.
Okay, how about 4.5?
I think I can get behind 4.5.
Yeah.
But also know that I don't necessarily have anything that should be taking off half a star like that for. But except maybe a vibe.
It's crazy.
Which I guess this is mysticism, so maybe that does make sense.
Yeah, he doesn't like the occult. He wants to exorcise the demons. All right.
Well, that's what she did.
Oh yeah, this is exactly what she did. Well, we did our first issue. We have our second issue. But before we dig right into that,
make sure you guys like and subscribe. Ring the notification bell. Leave a comment. Follow us on Off the Record JK on Instagram.
Exactly.
Do all of the things. We're always giving you an L in the chat these days. So L in the chat for Gabe not being here.
Exactly.
And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving on then.
Do you have credits for our next issue?
I do not have the credits. I will need you to pull them up while you are doing that.
Lower Decks.
This is Lower Decks, Star Trek Lower Decks.
Lower Decks.
Issue 1. Technically, this
number 1
can be our classic for the week. Because you guys normally do a classic.
Which one?
There. So wait, what?
Yeah, he did not prepare you for this.
I think this should be this one from North.
Yeah. Okay. So this is published by IDW. Star Trek Lower Decks number 1. We already know what we're talking about.
2024, not 2022.
2024 version, which is crazy.
They do reference
reprinting this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So they had a number 1 in 22. Then they already rebooted to another number 1 in 24. Mm-hmm. And then in 26 they're already making it a classic. Which is crazy.
Wild.
But that should tell you that it might be good.
Anyway, this is written by Ryan North with art from Derek Charm, and we'll dig into that question later. But first of all, thoughts.
Yeah. No, I want to hear your thoughts.
Oh man, he asked me my thoughts. That's crazy. No, this is interesting because I don't think we've covered a comic that's we've covered the comics that have been adapted into things. We have not covered things that are from another medium that are being adapted into comics. And this is adapting an animated TV series.
You haven't.
I haven't.
We did do Starfleet Academy issue 1.
I didn't.
2 weeks ago.
I didn't do that. I just wanted that.
It wasn't very good. I will be pulling number 2 just to see if it gets any better. But after that, probably not. So.
Yeah. So I want to give massive props to North as a writer because he very much so carried the voices over from the show. Mm-hmm. I think almost every character felt like they would in an episode of Lower Decks.
Absolutely.
The humor is on point. They have some when Dr. Tana,
I think.
Yeah, the cat lady.
Yeah.
When Dr. Tana points out the ship, I was like, that's funny.
Yeah. I quoted that line to you
did.
actually. I was totally out of context before you started.
I was like,
what?
I was like, what?
What was it exactly she said? What kind of a whack ass ship is this? Weird looking. Like that.
Yeah. It was good. You noted the thing, and it's like at the bottom of each page they have a little blurb.
Yeah.
You noted the one about Kirk and it being canon that he made fan episodes and stuff. It's I don't know. It's pretty great. I think it's well done. It's hard because it's not. It's like I don't think there's anything that can take a star away.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not 5 stars. Like there's no way it's 5 stars.
It's a 4.5.
It's a 4.5.
Yeah.
But there's no reason for there to not be the other half of the star. Anyway, what are your thoughts?
I mean, 5 stars really should be reserved for like some really, really good things. So
like Absolute Wonder Woman.
Yeah, exactly. I thought this was really good as well. I bought the full volume, number 1 on Amazon over spring break. So I had actually already read this, and I've seen where the whole story goes, and I've seen a couple of other stories that were mixed in with the volume. And if you want to go get that, you should, because it was very good, all of it. But just this individual issue is also really good. I think it sets up the story and the mystery quite well. I like it's been done before, and it will be done again. In fact, it has been done again, but it was done in the Seeds of Salvation, Strange New Worlds storyline as well, where at the beginning of the comic, it's, oh my gosh, everything is so boring. None of these missions matter. It's like nothing ever happens, which is something you should never say. And nothing ever happens.
Starship.
So again, they do just use the exact same starting point in a lot of things all the time. But
yes,
in this, I think that it really fits the characters a little bit better, because these are characters that would like want, from what we've seen in the show, like they want crazy wacky stuff to be happening all the time. And if it's the medium of animation and all that, it's like, oh, crazy things are always happening, and we're, you know, the people that nobody cares about, so we're thrown into all these weird situations and yada yada yada. It's like, okay, now we're like doing nothing for weeks and months on end, so it makes a little bit more sense for this story. I also really like the blurbs at the bottom of most of the pages. Sometimes it's we have a little like watcher character in the form of Badgie, that's kind of a godlike being that is watching over everything, which you do know that, actually, because you saw the episode. So
because he is,
he ascended into higher realm. So
crazy.
Sometimes he's the one making the comments. Sometimes the writer is the one making the comments. Sometimes it's a continuation of the thought process of the characters that we don't get a full thought bubble for, but we do get it continued in the bottom. You kind of have to figure that out from context, but I love them all. They're all so funny. They're really witty. They're just fun to have in there. I love it. And there's a couple of other ones in future issues of this comic run that are actually so hilarious that I had to stop reading for like 5 minutes because I was just laughing at them.
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily in issue 1, but in following issues. And this is a running theme for all the Lower Decks comics. So, like, you should pick some of these up. And this is a classic.
Yeah.
So there's a lot for you to pick up.
It's only $2.
Volume 3 will be coming out in the fall. Like, there's a lot for you to pick up at this point.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Really good stuff.
4.5 stars?
4.5 stars. I agree. So 2 4.5 stars today.
So yeah,
it's probably
like
the highest average that we've ever had on a comic.
9 out of 10 stars, probably the highest average. That's just because we pick.
There's so
That's
few
because we pick good comics.
Yeah,
and Gabe doesn't.
Yeah, so Gabe, if you're listening to this, I guess you just really bring down the average.
You do. You bring us down a whole octave.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, since we seem to have time, since we're only 13 minutes in, I wanted to highlight and briefly discuss three announced books, 2 of which are pretty niche. One is very, very mainstream. So I wanted to hear where you want to start with this, Kirk. Do you want to start with the nichest one, the middleest niche one, or the most mainstream one?
Niche.
Nichest, okay. So from Titan Comics, which I doubt you've ever heard of
I
before.
am not.
We have Solomon Kane and the Lion Errant from writer and artist Patrick Zircher.
Can I see the cover?
Yeah, you can see the cover. We'll flash the cover on screen.
I think I've seen that.
For our audience.
I'll make sure to go do that.
So, you know the Savage Tales of Solomon Kane that I've been reading since about Christmas. It's a big compendium of all those classic written stories.
You told me.
Yes. So, I'm a big Robert E. Howard fan, Conan, Savage Sword of Solomon Kane. And this is Zircher has adapted, I think, a couple of the short stories of Solomon Kane. Mm-hmm. And this is him making an attempt at doing an original one. So I'm very excited, very interested, and I like Zircher's art. He started Action Comics in the Rebirth run with Dan Jurgens, who you will learn more about the more we read of Superman.
I do recognize the name.
Yeah. So this is exciting, and it's an IP that is not used at all being used, and so it's exciting.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's the most niche one.
Okay.
Are you ready for round 2?
Sure.
Okay, this one comes from Dark Horse, so it's a little less niche.
Yeah.
But we got Masters of the Universe Genesis #1. So basically, they're doing a Masters of the Universe Year 1.
And let's get the cover for that again.
And this is the cover for that.
All right.
Which you'll see on screen. We promise.
Yes.
And yeah, so this is from Rich Duke and Gavin Smith. And this is basically Masters of the Universe Year 1. So we get to learn Skeletor's origin. We get to learn He-Man's origin. We're going to learn all about this conflict in this great fantasy land. And, I mean, honestly, I don't know why, but this is exciting to me. Probably because He-Man is like the first piece of media I remember consuming.
Well, there's a movie coming out.
And there's a movie coming out, so that's why they have a tie-in comic.
Oh, you know what? That makes sense. Okay, well, now we have to also cover the movie.
Yeah, which we were already going to do because I'm on this podcast.
I guess that does make sense.
Yeah.
Continue.
All right, the most mainstream one, the one you probably have the most to comment about. So, we have Miles Morales Spider-Man #1. And this is significant. I want to say this because Miles Morales Spider-Man has been relaunched 4 times this decade. But the writer has never changed. And as much as Cody Ziglar can write a good story, he hasn't written good stories. So I'm so pleased that Brian Hill, who I know from Ultimate Black Panther and his work in the Ultimate Universe, because he's done some fill-in stuff in other books, is coming on to write Miles Morales Spider-Man. And I'm showing the cover to Kirk. The cover is done by Simon DeMeo, who you may have seen before on some DC stuff. And so this is the first time in, I think Ziegler's first series started in 2019. It's the first time they've changed writers in 7 years, and they've relaunched it 4 times.
Well, that's, first of all, crazy about all the relaunches. Second of all, that's exciting, though, that they're finally learning, hey, guys, this is not working.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. I definitely want to follow that.
Yeah.
And now I'm probably I was looking through the polls or the solicitations or whatever for the coming weeks and months, and basically years. Every week I go back in and I check like, okay, is there anything else?
Stuff.
Anything else for me to pull? Anything else for me to pull? Anything else for me to pull? Please. But there have been a couple of things like I select only IDW. I don't look for anything else. I'm just selecting IDW because I'm just looking for the Star Trek things to see if there's anything new in Star Trek.
Yeah.
But IDW has a couple of properties, a couple of interesting ones. And so there have been a couple of things that I've seen that are potentially interesting. I don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
But if we're trying to get into some more niche things like that, I might have to go back and look through those and see if maybe we want to start some of those too.
Oh, yeah. So I definitely think when those series come out, we will check in on them. Fun fact, this is going to be the last normal Comic Stack episode.
Yes, it will be. So, there will be, you and Gabe will still be covering Skinbreaker. You'll have a full dedicated video to just Skinbreaker.
That book is entirely art, by the way.
Yeah.
There's
so
no plot.
There's going to be that to look forward to. That's kind of an extension of this.
Yes.
Especially because that was what was recommended to y'all.
Yeah.
I was pissed off at you just as much as our audience probably was every single week when you were saying couldn't find it again this week. That's a skill issue. That's a skill issue. Figure it out. Well, they finally have.
So we're gonna cover it all.
Yes, you already did issue 1 in a previous Comic Stack video. Now
we'll just retread some ground.
Yeah. So you'll be covering that and the whole volume, and
and going forward, we're planning on doing basically like a monthly comic check-in video where we highlight some comics from DC, probably mostly DC, probably a lot of Star Trek, because that's what we like, and we'll slip in a Marvel and an independent here and there.
And I think we'll probably still call it Comic Stack. We may get rid of the numbering system, but call it Comic Stack regardless because it's a good name. And we'll have even more of a stack of comics to talk about.
Because it's a monthly thing and not a weekly thing.
And those we'll still continue doing 2 videos a week. On odd weeks, we'll have 3 if there's like a lot going on that week. Like how previously we had 3 videos a week and sometimes we'd have 4. But usually those new and improved, hopefully, Comic Stack videos will take the place of one of our regular time slots and will not be like an extra 3rd video in a week. But again, if there's a lot,
we'll see what happens. Yeah, because we have live coverage.
This is a big year for releasing things.
It really is.
Like we've got so many shows that we have to cover. We have so many movies that are still to come out and that have come out. Check out our Hail Mary video, and a bunch of comics. Tons of stuff happening in Star Trek.
I didn't even get to. Oh my gosh, you're gonna hate me.
Okay, what?
Scott Snyder announced that the first crossover of all of the Absolute characters is coming at the end of this year.
So another thing that is absolutely crazy and awesome that we're gonna have to talk about. Yay! That is actually super hype, though.
Yeah, it is. So, and that's the big piece of news I was going to build up to, and then I forgot about it.
Well, you did build up to it because you waited till the very last second.
That's great. Anyway.
Before we go, I just want to give everybody a behind the scenes that I'm going to be revealing to Judah for the first time right now.
Oh, no.
About halfway through the video, I realized that I accidentally had my microphone amped up by 5 decibels instead of Judah's, because Judah's microphone is kind of broken. So it needs to be amped up. So I'm exceedingly loud this video. Judah is probably a lot quieter this video. If I ever talked over Judah this video, you just didn't hear him. So I'm not going to do anything about that because I can't do anything about that because I'm dumb. I don't know how this works. It'd be fine if I could have figured out what I was trying to figure out, which is recording on 2 separate tracks and having one mic go into each track. But Audacity's being stupid with me and it doesn't have the buttons that were in the YouTube video I looked at. So I don't know what I'm going to do. If anybody knows and is still watching me rant right now, please tell me. Please.
Anyway.
Please, for the love of all that is holy, tell me.
Anyway.
I need help.
Anyway, Kirk's crashing out. But before Kirk crashes all the way out, Kirk, give us a beverage shout out. And I haven't done that in a while, actually. Maybe I should do it. But you and Gabe, whenever you do this, pick the most generic stuff. I'm like, pick something niche.
The last 2 times I've been asked, I have picked water because I have been sick and people need to drink more water. So this time I'll instead tell you what I'm actually drinking right now, which is a venti vanilla bean from Starbucks. So shout out.
Shout out you. Shout out Starbucks. Free advertising.
Yes.
Not sponsored, promise.
Today, the day this video goes out, in 2 hours at current time of recording, is Double Stars Day. So if you're still watching it on April 30th, 2026.
Dude, shout out you,
double stars.
And B, go get some double stars, yeah. All right, with that being said, good morning, good evening, good night, and God bless.
Bye.